Change does not come just with the change of government. We have to demonstrate that democracy is capable of reforming itself. We must restore faith in the integrity of our political system and in those areas of public life that impact on the well-being of our citizens, such as banks, business and the public service. Because if people do not have faith in democratic politics and its ability to regulate our economy and our society, they will turn away from it. We can start by restoring the principle of a democracy of equals. We must sever the cosy link between big money and politics, once and for all, and send a clear message to our citizens and to the outside world that influence in Ireland is not for sale. We can do that. We can do that by drastically reducing the maximum amount a person can donate to a political party from €6,500 currently to €2,500, and by making cumulative contributions over €1,500 declarable. A cap on donations to individual candidates should be even less. It is €2,500 now, and that should be brought down to €1,000. Those limits should also apply to referendum campaigns. No one individual should be able to use his or her personal wealth to influence the result and to decide the content of our Constitution. We can end, too, the cronyism that has seen the same people crop up on state boards, in semi-state companies and on the boards of private companies by ending the practice of out-and-out political patronage. A person appointed to a state board should be appointed on merit and not because of who their friends are. The Labour Party will shortly publish a bill to clean up corporate governance. We will start by limiting the number of executive boards a person can sit on. The potential for conflicts of interest is too great, particularly in a small country, if the corporate world is allowed to act as a cosy club for the select few. And there is plenty of room for improvement in how we run the affairs of the country. Excessive or wasteful spending in the public sector were an affront to taxpayers in good times, and they put frontline services and jobs at risk in bad times. Labour would introduce a sunset clause on all quangos, giving them a specific period of time to justify their existence. We would reduce the number of junior ministers to one per department, reduce the levels of staff assigned to the private and constituency offices of ministers, reduce the number of Oireachtas committees to one per department, end special payments to chairs, vice-chairs and conveners of committees, and end the payment of ministerial pensions to sitting members of the Oireachtas, and insist that all expenses be vouched and fully accountable. We would reform the public service and start by opening up every promotional opportunity in the public sector. We would make it easier to move between employment in the private and public sectors, and to move civil and public servants within the public service so that they are deployed where they are needed most. It is essential that our citizens can have faith in democracy, faith that the people that they elect to represent them and not just vested interest, faith that in a republic it is hard work and character that determines how high you can climb, not who you know or who your family are. That is what gives a country its dynamism. But the threat to democracy comes not just from its own institutions, but from anti-democratic activity. Recently in Northern Ireland we have seen what happens when the gun is favoured over the ballot box. That tiny minority must never again be allowed to cast our island back to the dark and bloody days of our shared past. I don't need to tell anybody in this room the importance of democracy. We will be fighting for it in the local and European elections on the 5th of June. We have work to do this weekend to consider the state of our country and our party, to debate and to decide, to mix and socialise and to have fun. And when we leave here on Sunday afternoon, we should be leaving it to make sure that we realise the potential that we have seen a glimpse of in recent opinion polls, to seal the New Deal for Ireland, to seal it with the voters on June the 5th. Thank you and have a good conference.